Girl, how can you just pick up your life and just move? Ain't nothing to it but to do it. Like, it's very simple. It's very simple. All you have to do is follow these steps, okay? And I'm gonna break it down. What's up? It's your girl, Oh Honey Rollins, and I'm back with another video. This video is going to be part 2 of my moving to Dallas series, okay? Now, I've moved to 2 states now. I've moved from Ohio to Arizona to now Dallas, Texas. And people always ask me like, girl, how can you just pick up your life and just move? Ain't nothing to it but to do it. Like, it's very simple. It's very simple. All you have to do is follow these steps, okay? And I'm gonna break it down. So when you decide where you're going to move, the first thing you need to do is do some research. You know, first you really need to pray about it. You need to ask God for clarity and reassurance that this is what He wants you to do, because it was placed in your heart for a reason, not just, you know what I'm saying? It was placed in your heart for a reason. So you want to ask God for clarity. If this is what you want me to do, you'll make a way for me to do it. But keep in mind, have faith and believe. Faith without work is dead. Faith without work is dead. So you have to apply yourself. Now, you've already made up your mind where you want to go. Let's say you're moving to Dallas, okay? And moving to Dallas, you know, me, it's so crazy. I'm getting messages, I'm sorry. Me, the places, when I moved to these different states, before I even made up my mind, I never visited these places. That's how I know it was God sent. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've never been to these places. What happened is I see pictures. I already have a feeling like it's time for me to go. It's time for me to go. So then what happens is, boom, it's given to me. I happen to see something, get a feeling, or you start hearing about this certain place a lot. This is what happens to me. You start hearing about this certain place a lot, but you already know, like, God is about to position you to be you're about to be moved. God is about to move you, and and He just start giving you signs. He just start showing you different stuff, but in Him showing you, He's giving you a direction. So you look at it, you do your research. So when I first moved, you do your research, you go visit the place, see how you like it, what's the vibe. But before you do that, I say visit the place, get a feel for it. You've already made your mind up, like, okay, this is where I want to go. So now you're just going to confirm. You done did your research, you done looked at your YouTube videos, you done looked at the pros and cons of living here, and you're weighing your options, you're looking at apartments, you know what I'm saying? Like, you already know this is where you want to be. So you visit it. And in visiting it, these are intentional visits. These visits aren't like, oh, I'm just going to go. Like, you can go and you can have fun, but you're being intentional with this visit, right? So you're coming to visit Dallas, and then coming to visit Dallas, you might do some apartment tours. You may look at the party scene, go to a brunch, go to a church maybe that you was watching online or something. Like, you do things that you normally would do. You just be and see how it flows for you. This is what I did. So my first trip, I just came to see. I came 2 times before. I already knew I was coming, but the first time that I came, it was just like, okay, God, you telling me Dallas? Okay, let's see what Dallas is about. Because I already talked about I wanted to move to Texas. I didn't know nothing about Texas. I've never been to Texas. But in my mind, the reason why I decided Texas is because it wasn't too far off from Dallas. Like, I wanted something that was, nice and heat, not too cold. Dallas does have a winter, but it's not like Ohio winter. So I wanted something that would be like happy medium, but I also wanted something that would give me culture. And it's still not far from Arizona. So that's why in my mind I was choosing Dallas. So I started looking into vlogs just to see how these people's lifestyles are, because if it matches something, if we have similar lifestyles, then okay, cool. I started looking at people's vlogs online, and they tell you certain places to go. That's one thing I do like about Dallas, is that when you visit here, you don't feel like, oh, you know how when you go to LA or when you go to New York, you may go to Manhattan, like if you don't know nobody from there, because those are like the tourist areas. Like the thing I like about Dallas is that when you come to visit, you feel like you're a part of it. Like you're not going to like a tourist spot. 9 times out of 10, you're going to a place where other locals are, and that's what I loved about it. I didn't feel like I was a tourist. I felt like this was home for me, and it kind of was giving me like home vibes when I came. So I came the first time, and I went to these places that people was telling me about. That's how personal we be getting with our YouTubes. I feel like you feel like it's a real conversation. I gotta get this sun together. The sun is on me. Okay, this works. So when I came to visit, you know, I was going to the places that the people was telling me, the locals was telling me about. So when I went the first time, I was just like, okay, I like it here. I was just catching the vibe. I went to, you know, I was partying. I ain't gonna lie, I was partying. I didn't do no apartment tours because I was just trying to see how it resonated with me. And I felt good about it. I felt home. And I was going to spots, and people was like, they was like greeting me like they knew me before, like they met me before. And they was like, hey, what's up? And I'm like, hey, they speak to you, like they just welcome you, and I love that. And it was just like, hey, what's up? Some people even was coming to me like they really knew me, like I met you before, haven't I? I'm like, no, you never met me, I'm not from here. So I was like, okay, I see what it's talking about. So then after I left that, I liked it. We had a great time. After I left and went back home that time, that's when I started digging more, doing more research. Okay, apartments, what's the good areas? You know what I'm saying? I just started looking for it. So I already had in my mind where I wanted to live, as far as I thought I wanted to live downtown, because I felt like this is a major city, right? It's not as busy, but they have a real downtown. In places that I live, like they have downtowns, of course, but it's really usually nothing going on. So down here, they have things going on, and it's like a good area to be in. So I wanted to be downtown. Then I started finding about uptown, downtown. You got midtown. You got all these up and down mid and all this other stuff. So I really was trying to stay in uptown because that's where it's like popping at. That's where it's like I wanted to be able to walk to grocery stores. Like I wanted to be very, you know, in a nice area to where I can go walk to stuff, to my everyday life. Like, oh, I want to go downstairs and get a cup of coffee. I want to go walk to the coffee shop. Oh, I'm gonna just walk to this bar if I want to have a drink or something like that. I want to be accessible. I wanted things to be accessible to me, to where I really didn't have to drive, so I could really feel the city vibe. I never really had that. So, but things was not aligning to me. So what I discovered was the places where we was going when I was visited was nowhere near downtown, because I was thinking like, oh, I'm not gonna have to drive to like clubs and stuff because they're all in this area, and if I have to catch an Uber, it will be very cheap because it's only around the corner, you know what I'm saying? So, but that wasn't the case when I came to visit. We were actually traveling from the downtown area because that's where we stayed. You know, I wanted the floor to ceiling windows. I wanted a large island. I wanted it to be vibes. But when I came to visit, the experience was not exactly what I was going for. Like, we still had to drive places, and then also we had to drive 20 and 30 minutes to these places, and I was on the toll road. So I'm like, maybe I don't want to live downtown. So I started exploring other options and looking at other things. So when I came to visit the second time, I was very much more intentional. Like, I already knew I was coming, already chose the date. I really went back and forth with my date. So that's what you want to do first. You want to visit, really get the confirmation. You don't have to. I'm not saying that these are things that you have to do, but I'm just giving you my input on what I think you should do just to confirm it. Especially if I ain't even gonna say that because it just depends. But visit it, get your confirmation, make sure this is where you want to be. The thing that you don't want to experience is that you move thousands of miles away, you're by yourself, and you're like, this is not what I thought. You know what I'm saying? So I suggest that you fill it out. The good thing about it is, even if you don't, you always can move again. Like, you're never, you don't have to stay nowhere. You can always move. You can always move. You can always go back home if it don't work out. So don't be discouraged by that, you know? Then you want to look at apartments. They have plenty of apartment tours online. Let me know if y'all want me to do some apartment tours, because the apartment tours on YouTube really saved my life. It narrowed down my decisions. It really gave me insight. Like, and it's thousands of them. Like, I was getting lost and consumed in them. Like, it was like a lot. Even do the ones not on the on the YouTube videos, but also go to Google, go to apartments.com, do your research, look at the reviews. Me personally, since you don't really know the areas, read them reviews, because people be going off. They talk about bugs, they talk about robberies, they talk about the cleanliness, they talk about management. If you are looking at an apartment complex and they have horrible management, you don't want to be there. Because if you have a problem, something happens, they're not going to take care of your issue. They can care less. If they got bugs and you see bug, oh, it was infested and all this, nah. You don't want to be there. You want to find a place that's in the 3.8 and up, is my opinion. Maybe a 3.5, it depends, because some of the reviews that trigger those rates are way older, and, you know, they was probably under a whole different management before. Now they've revamped. We're doing better, bigger and better things now. So you can't really hold them. You can't really hold it too much against them. So you want to keep that in mind. Find you an apartment. You can get a locator also. Now, me personally, the locators will help you from beginning to end. Me, when I got my locator, I already knew what apartment I was going to get. I just wanted him to confirm that what I was seeing online, like, cause you know, sometimes they have those professional pictures and videos online. So when you get like the professional video and picture look so big, like they make it a wide lens and it'll just look so much bigger. And when you get there, it's a shoebox, and now you're upset cause you already signed your lease and everything. So my apartment locator, he did give me some options or whatever, but I really already knew where I wanted to go. I really was just kind of asking him to see if he could pull up something that I hadn't seen already. Because when I tell you I was in them videos, man, I was in them apartment videos day and night and day, midday, all day. I was in it. And I like doing apartment tours. So like I said, y'all let me know if that's what y'all want me to do, a couple of them. And I sent my apartment locator to go to the place that I actually wanted to do, and, you know, talk with the people and let them know that I was serious. And I also had him do a video of the apartment and the floor plan that I wanted, so I can know with a regular camera phone or whatever, or your FaceTime, is this the one that I want? And boom, it was. So that's how I took advantage of the apartment locator. It's very convenient. They don't charge you anything. The apartment that you choose pays them, so it's not a big deal. Let them do their job. That's what they for, and it's a bunch of them. So some of them even give you an incentive for using them, you know, after you sign your lease. So boom, you want to do that. Now that you've decided, you got your date, you decided where you want to move, now you need to start really putting in that footwork. So you want to be thinking about your income. I'm trying to make sure my lighting, because the the sun is changing. You want to be thinking about your income. Do you have a job? Do you need to find a job? Do you need to line up a job? Or is it simple enough for you, like it was for me, to where you can transfer your job? A lot of us are working from home nowadays, so now you can really work from anywhere and you can move and keep your same job. So that's a very fortunate thing to do. You don't have to worry about the stress of finding a job. Now, the good thing about Dallas is you can find a job, and on your resume prior to moving, if your job is not going to transfer you or you're quitting or whatever, you find the address. If you have a friend or a family member that already live here, use the address, okay? But if you don't have a friend and you don't want to use the address, you don't want them in your business or nothing, just get an address for an apartment complex that you would like to live and just choose that. They not doing background. It's not that deep. You know what I'm saying? Choose the address, but you will have better chances of people contacting you prior to your move if your address says you live there already. If you don't want to do that, you can just put relocating to Dallas, Texas in December 2020. You know, if you already have a date in place, boom, they'll even take that. And that's how you prepare those resumes so you can have your interviews lined up. You can do interviews over the phone, or you can fly into interviews. I seen videos where people flew in for the interview, got the job, and that's when they start preparing. So whatever way you want to do it, but you need to get these ducks in a row. So after you know you got your income situation, some people are like, well, how much money do I need to move with before I actually move? It's going to be up to your comfortability is the short answer, okay? Me personally, when I moved, when I was 22, I had first month's rent and a little bit extra. So it's like, you got to gauge your rents too. From state to state, rents is different now. I was moving from Ohio in 2011. My apartment, when I was living in Ohio, let me explain apartments to you, because times has changed so much, and I wish it was still like this, these prices, but it ain't. So anyway, but let me tell you how much time has changed. When I was 22, I had a 1-bedroom apartment. It had now it was small, granted, but it was nice. So when I say nice, it had everything that it needed. It had a full basement with a washer. I put a washer and a dryer down there. I could have decked the full basement out, but I wasn't on that time. So it had a living room, it had a 1-bedroom, had a walk-in closet. You know, the bathroom was in the 1-bedroom or whatever. It had a kitchen, you know what I'm saying? I was paying $300. Oh, I wish my rent was this much. $325. I'm gonna say $350 just cause, but I really think it was $325. So I left a $325 situation, nice situation. It was good. It was straight. A $325 situation. So when me and my friend moved to Arizona, our apartment, it was a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, of course. It was brand new actually in Arizona, and it was, I want to say it was like 800 or 750 or something like that. 750, 800, I don't even remember. But it was more than 350. So times has changed. So you want to check them rents. Make sure that you can afford it, okay? Wherever you move in, check the rent and move if at your minimum. Move with your first month's rent. So that way your living situation is already taken care of when you move to the place. So before you move, you got to have your deposits in most places. Matter of fact, let me write that down. I'm going to do a video on what's the requirements for these apartments. But when you choose an apartment, get the rent, you have it already situation. Your first month's rent when you move, have your first month's rent, but then also have 2 months worth of rent at minimum, especially if you have to find a job. So that way you're not stressed in moving. Like you comfortable. If you ain't got nothing, you got somewhere to live. You know what I'm saying? While you still looking for jobs and stuff like that. So at minimum, have your first and second month's rent. Okay. In some of these apartments, they give you the first month free. So maybe 1 month rent at minimum. But if you want to be comfortable and make sure you're comfortable and make sure everything is everything, like I say $3,000, $4,000, and that's with furnishing your apartment. So you want to be comfortable with your stuff. If you're going to be moving your stuff with you, you know, you have to think about, are you going to just fly in? You could come in with your suitcases and having your stuff shipped. You want to think about that. I did that. I flew in. My ticket to fly into Dallas was like $70 with Southwest. Fly with Southwest when you're moving, because you get those 2 suitcases for free, and you can pay extra for the others if you need that. I got a U-Box from U-Haul U-Boxes. They charge you like $85 for the actual box. You pack it up and they charge you for shipping. Depending on where you're shipping to Dallas, my ship from Arizona to Dallas was like, I think it was like $1,500. So $1,500 it cost that. The thing about the U-Box though with U-Haul is that it's going to take them 2 to 3 weeks to get you your stuff. So you have to keep that in mind. You're going to be living without your stuff. But you can also go to these other shipping companies and they're going to charge you a little bit more, but you'll get it within like 3 to 4 days or something like that. It just depends on what you want to move or what you want to do, what you want to spend. You know what I'm saying? It just depends on what you're doing. Okay. And those U-Boxes are small, very small. So I'll show you how big and small it was. How small, not big it was. Let me say that. Your car, if you have a vehicle, you can drive your car. You can drive your car, and if you got a hitch, you can pop that U-Box on the back of there, stuff your car, and you could drive. You got to put that into consideration too. But if you want to ship your car from Arizona to Dallas, it cost me $750 to ship my car. Got it in like 3 days. So I arrived one day, my car arrived the next day. I had some few things in there, so you want to take that into consideration too. Some people don't even take their car, they just sell everything, and they just like, I'm out here, I'm starting over from the ground up. So you have to just weigh your options. It's going to be what's best for you, but you definitely want to consider all these factors. And then when you get home to your new home, Dallas, Texas, when you get here, make sure you pray over your dwelling space. Bless your home. Want to make sure that you air that bad boy out, because you don't know what the previous people was doing before you, and this is how you move. This is how you move. This is what you move, starting from A to B, period. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope I gave you some insight. Again, this is not my first rodeo, so I try to give you both options, because I did it with nothing. I drove 2,000 miles from Ohio to Arizona. I did it that way. I didn't have a job lined up. I didn't really have no money. I had $1,200 to my name, and you know, I had to get down there and hit the ground running, and it worked out. I was in Arizona for 10 years, never looked back. Moved to Dallas. I've only been here for 3 months. My whole thing is, you don't have to have it all the way figured out. All you have to do is have a mustard seed of faith, believe, and put in the work. It will definitely work out. Don't just think that you're going to arrive in a place and everything is just going to start happening. It seems like that when you apply yourself. Everything just works together. Everything does work together when you work it. You have to let it work by you working it. Believe in yourself that you're able to do it. Yes, you're going to miss your family. Yes, you wish you had more people out here, but don't let those things discourage you from moving. Put your best foot forward and believe. You always got to believe. If you believe, you can achieve. And I'm out. Let me know what other videos y'all would like me to do for this Dallas series, because I'm excited about it. And I realize that a lot of people want to move, but they just don't know exactly where to start. You're going to miss your family. You're going to miss your friends. But if you want to get something done, you're going to get it done, period. Like, you can't move everybody with you, and best believe you can't miss out on opportunities because because you don't have nobody to do them with, you know? If you're moving to Dallas, I move by myself. Like, create experiences for yourself. You don't know until you really get out there and do it. Can it be scary? Absolutely. Absolutely, it could be scary. You'll have everything, all the odds will be against you. It will seem like that, but it's really just a test. Like, how bad do you want it, girl? How bad do you want it, sir? Like, get out there and get it done. You can do it. I'm out.